Imagine this, a company. No king, no vast army, just a group of merchants, a few pieces of paper, and several signatures. Yet those signatures would one day rob millions of people of their freedom. The year was 1600. They arrived on Indian shores as traders, searching for spices and profit. But when they finally left centuries later, they left behind bloodshed, famine, and a nation brought to its knees. The story begins in London. In 1600, 125 wealthy investors pooled together £70,000 and formed the British East India Company. Their eyes were fixed on the riches of the East. At first, they tried to compete in Indonesia, but the Dutch and Portuguese repeatedly blocked their ambitions. After a series of setbacks, they turned their attention toward Hindustan. In 1608, Captain William Hawkins stood before the magnificent court of Mughal Emperor Jahangir in Surat. The English knew they could never defeat the powerful Mughal Empire through direct warfare, so they chose a different weapon: diplomacy. They bowed, spoke politely, and patiently waited for an opportunity.
Then, in 1615, Sir Thomas Roe arrived, bearing valuable gifts. Jahangir welcomed him warmly and granted the company permission to trade and establish factories in Surat. What seemed like a simple commercial agreement would later become one of the most costly mistakes in Indian history. Time passed, and by 1757, Bengal had become the richest region in the subcontinent. But the company was no longer satisfied with trade. It wanted power. Its greatest obstacle was Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowlah. Robert Clive, however, chose treachery over battle. He secretly won over the Nawab's own commander, Mir Jafar, along with powerful banker Jagat Seth. Before the Battle of Plassey even began, the outcome had already been decided. Siraj-ud-Dowlah was defeated and killed, and a puppet ruler was placed on the throne. Then came the Battle of Buxar in 1764, where a large Indian alliance suffered defeat. But the real turning point arrived in 1765 with the Treaty of Allahabad. The merchants had become rulers. The company gained the right to collect taxes in Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Now, they no longer needed money from London. They used Indian revenue to buy Indian goods and used that wealth to build a massive army that gradually swallowed the entire country. The consequences were devastating. One of the wealthiest regions on Earth was drained of its resources. Farmers and weavers fell into poverty. To feed the factories of Manchester and Lancashire, India was reduced to a supplier of raw materials. Famines and disease claimed millions of lives, while ships loaded with grain and wealth sailed endlessly toward England. The greed of a single company had transformed the fate of an entire civilization. This was not an empire built solely by swords and soldiers. It was built through deception, debt, and ink on paper. History reminds us that the greatest dangers do not always arrive wearing a crown. Sometimes they come dressed as ordinary businessmen, carrying nothing more than a ledger book and a contract.